Hey guys, I'm going to do a video response from my office here. It's been a while since I've done one, so I have the questions off the screen, so if I'm looking off the screen a lot, I'm just reading it because it's 20 questions. It's actually for Nathaniel Go. So I did want to show a couple pickups real quick. These aren't extremely new, but just things that I think are cool. I showed this once before, I believe, but before the watch face was on it. I have a Rawlings, you guys that have followed me for a long time, I'm extremely loyal to the Rawlings brand. It's the only it's the only glove I would ever use. I did use some different batting gloves. Had Franklin when I was a kid. You know, who didn't, right? Franklin's like the cheap, bunch of colors, stuff like that. But became a Rawlings guy. So I've been completely loyal to Rawlings my entire life as far as fielding gloves. I like the Rawlings brand, and I've actually worked for Rawlings before, which I know a lot of you guys don't know that, actually. So maybe somebody like RBI, Crew 7, those guys who I actually knew and hung out with some in St. Louis when I lived up there. I was doing a lot of stuff for Rawlings at that time in Major League Baseball in different capacities. So put an Armani, just had an old Armani watch. I know it's hard to see that, but I had an Armani watch. I didn't like the band that much, and my wife got me this is an actual glove, a fielding glove that was chopped up to make the wristband part of it. So anyway, I got that, and I showed that because I bought this recently. With the black one, black leather Rawlings wallet. So things like that are cool. I actually like to, I know you guys usually see me in like a t-shirt or something like that. I actually care about fashion. Not to the point where I'm watching like runway model shit. That's not appealing to me at all. But I like to look good. I got a lot of suits and stuff like that. Even if I'm wearing a t-shirt, I usually try to match colors and stuff like that. So I do care about fashion just for myself. So I like to look good. I don't ever like to be underdressed anywhere. I think that's, to me, I just feel self-conscious if I'm underdressed. When I was at the Hall of Fame, I got this gold baseball, just, little logo balls that are basically worthless, although they charge like 20 bucks a piece. I know you can't read that real well, but preserving history, honoring excellence, connecting generations. It's dated from the induction ceremony, and then I also got the one that's just Griffey logo ball with the induction logo, Piazza and him, then the Griffey stats. Obviously there was a Piazza one as well. I liked Piazza growing up. I've always liked Piazza as a player on the field. Absolutely no problem with them at all, but I collect Griffey stuff. So anyway, got those two pieces. I think that's all I wanted to show. I had a card. I may have put it up in a man cave. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to look over here, answer these questions. I have not gone through them all. I just copied and pasted them. I watched Nathaniel's video, so I know what the questions are a little bit because he answered them in his own video. I'm going to link his page. He's trying to get more subscribers, but he's also saying thanks and giving back to his, I believe, 250 subscribers. So usually when I do a video like this, kind of the most I've seen, I can help somebody maybe get like 100, 150 subscribers. So if you guys are willing, at least check out his page. Something that appeals to me, if you guys are wondering, I never have, and I won't have a problem giving shout outs to pages, smaller, bigger, it doesn't really matter. Somebody like Ricky or Tom Gatos or something like that, who they both have tons of subscribers now. I've given them many shout outs in the past. Micah, I've given a bunch of shout outs. Just people who I think are good people. That's a key factor. If you seem like a good person, some of these guys I know in person, some I don't. So being a good person helps a ton. Somebody I feel I trust, somebody I like the videos of. And then when it comes down to it, when you're just collecting cards, is it entertaining? Are you boring as hell to listen to? Do you have good lighting in your videos? Which I usually have great lighting, as you guys know, when I show cards. When I do more like a vlog style thing or show myself, I'm not as worried about it. But if you're showing cards, if you're showing your collection, have good lighting, have a good camera, have quality. It just should be more entertaining for people to see and watch. If you hold up a baseball card and you can't tell what it's numbered to because the lighting is just awful or the camera is awful, especially today in 2016, that stuff's cheap. So you shouldn't have a horrible camera. You shouldn't have a horrible light or whatever. It's very easy to use natural lighting, and a $100 camera goes an incredible long way. So some phones are just perfect now. I'm actually using a phone now, so you don't have to have a great phone either. So it's not hard to have a good quality video at all. You don't need editing tricks or anything like that. It's just very easy to have a nice camera, in my opinion. So that matters to me. Nathaniel does have that. If you go look through his videos, it's very well done and clean. So that matters to me. So, Nathaniel, hopefully you can get a few more subscribers. I don't know where you are right now, but I know you're doing the 250 subscriber contest, so I'd like to enter that and give you a little shout out here. So, what's my name? My real name is Chad. Most of you guys know that, but just in case, my name is Chad, C-H-A-D. My nicknames, what nicknames have I had? Again, it's 20 questions, we're just reading right through them. Link for him is below or in the description box, wherever YouTube moves that to next, because it changes every once in a while. But anyway, I'm going to answer these 20 questions. They're all, I guess, personal questions. They're mixed. Some sports, some not sports, whatever. So question 2, my nicknames, I've had Romeo, Pedro, Sonic, C3, C Cubed. When my mom was alive, she often called me asshole. So, I've had all those. I've had a lot of different nicknames, but like the Pedro one was pretty much the only baseball one that stuck. Obviously, I loved Griffey. Some people call me Griffey because I just loved him, but it wasn't really because of Griffey. Any other reason but me liking him. But Pedro was, when I pitched, Pedro was not my guy. Greg Maddux was. I threw a little harder than he did, but that's why I modeled my windup after I actually stole his windup completely. Wish I had his exact control. I was good, but you know, Greg Maddux is literally one of the best ever. So I did steal his windup, but I was called Pedro. My teammates would chant Pedro when I was pitching a lot of times, like when they were in the field and stuff. So that stuck for years, actually. They called me Pedro, and it was when Pedro Martinez was absolutely dominant. So I was our best pitcher in our little town, so it wasn't really a big deal, I guess. Romeo I got from a principal, if that matters, just because I was always with girls. And Sonic, I used to have longer spiked hair when I cared about hair. I genuinely just don't care about hair. So if you guys ever wondered why I keep it short, I just don't care at all. Again, I like to look clean. I like to look good. I don't in any way care about hair. It just doesn't matter to me, especially on a dude. It just completely doesn't matter. So anyway, left-handed or right-handed? I am right-handed. What type of music do I listen to? I listen to all music except for island reggae, like your Bob Marley type stuff, or Shaggy. I think that's his name. I know the music. I don't really care for that, but I mean, I literally listen to all kinds. I do love country. Josh Turner being my favorite artist there. Love Carrie Underwood. So I like that type. As far as other types, I mean, I listen to opera. I listen to classic. I listen to smooth jazz, like Washington and Dave Koz. Like those guys. Washington's obviously passed away. Dave Koz, I've seen in concert. Opera, like I've seen... Andrea Bocelli is one of my favorites. I listen to a lot of him. He's a tenor. I listen to some old stuff. I listen to a lot of 50s and 60s music. I like Frank Sinatra, stuff like that. Michael Bublé, who's kind of like a new age Frank Sinatra. So I listen to all that. But my top music by far that you catch me listening to are country, more modern country, like 1995 to today. That type of country is my preferred, although I listen to some older, and harder rock. So modern hard rock, kind of the same era of stuff. I like 90s R&B, but basically mid-90s rock to today. Again, more the harder rock, some alt rock, but things like Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace and Seether and even like Avenged Sevenfold and Five Finger Death Punch and a lot of other bands. So heavy rock or hard rock, and not really metal, borderline metal, but not quite. So the hard rock and country. So I said that 25 times. Hopefully you got the point now. Anyway, those are my preferred musics, but I listen to literally almost anything. So what are my favorite movies? We Are Marshall. I was in Marshall alum. Love the story. Love the movie. I was in the movie as an extra. No really big deal. Would have been 3 scenes. Got paid to do it, so it's fun. But I would have done it for free. So love the movie. And Little Big League, you know, because it has real baseball players. I like baseball movies that have real players. Major League is hilarious. Bull Durham is hilarious. Great movie. I like those. Field of Dreams is a good movie. I don't like it as much as the other ones. I think it's a little overrated, although it's a very good movie. But I like when I see real athletes like portrayed as themselves. You know, Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., a bunch of players like that were in Little Big League. So I think it's a fun story. It's a fun movie. You know, I like almost all baseball movies though. I like documentaries a lot, but those would be probably my two favorite movies. Movies that I've watched over and over and over again. Although I've seen Dumb and Dumber 100 times as well, but who hasn't, right? Let me see here. Favorite TV shows. I don't watch TV. It's rare you'll catch me watching TV. So if I'm watching TV, like live TV anyway, not like your Netflix or something like that, it's probably Impractical Jokers. I like that. I like to laugh. So if it doesn't make me laugh and it's not live sports, I'm probably not watching TV. I'll watch it after it's done, maybe years later, like watch a series, binge watch it or whatever, just because I don't like to sit and watch TV. I like to spend time with my family or mess with my hobby or go do work or something like that. I prefer that over TV. I don't like watching commercials and stuff. I have a marketing degree, so watching commercials is just really annoying to see stuff that's like, you know, so obviously in your face, product placement and marketing stuff. I pick it up in movies and TV shows as well. Like I always just look at that. I look at it from a marketing perspective and a business side of things more than actually just taking it in and enjoying it. So it's kind of annoying to me. So I avoid TV a lot. Actually, if you take away sports and Impractical Jokers, I would say in 2016, I've probably watched 8 hours of TV. I watch a lot of news too, but again, I watch that like on the internet and stuff. I watch a lot of YouTube as my entertainment, or I'll go directly to news sources. I'll go to CNN, I'll go to Fox News, I'll go to wherever, my local station, my ABC station here local. I'll go to those actual websites and just watch what I want to watch. Watch the news and news only without the other crap. Where am I going? Sorry, this phone's a little weird. 12 minutes. Should be right. Probably be done around 17 minutes, I'd say. Not bad. I think Nathaniel's was like 20 minutes as well. So anyway, you've already clicked off here if you're not interested in this. But go sub to Nathaniel, or at least give him a shot. Go look at his videos. You don't have to subscribe. Check him out. Give him a fair shot. Question 7. Favorite food? I like pizza. I like French fries. I like stuff that's not really good for me. I love milk chocolate. I actually can't drink milk. I can't eat any dairy, but it's worth it. Mozzarella, I always get light cheese on pizza. It's worth it to a point, although mozzarella in America is not real mozzarella, and it's basically plastic chemically, which is actually true. It's close to plastic. It's as close to plastic as it is to cheese in chemical makeup, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, pizza, French fries, I like that type of stuff. Favorite sport is baseball to play, hands down, no question about it. I played 4 sports growing up, but baseball to play, football to watch, and I prefer college over pro, although I don't watch a ton of colleges, but I'll watch any good game, and especially my alma mater, a team I root for or whatever. So I would say football is more fun to watch, baseball to play, although I like watching it as well. I think hockey in person is awesome. Soccer in person is good. Football in person sucks. I'd rather watch it on TV. Even the Super Bowl, like, you know, it's in Houston, I'll probably go to it. But then again, maybe I won't. I don't know. NBA, I've worked in the NBA. I think the NBA kind of sucks. It can be entertaining at times, but it's just, to me, it's annoying. I'd rather watch college basketball. Not a big fan of that on TV or in person. Baseball, again, it's more fun in person or to play. It's kind of boring on TV, actually, baseball is. So, question number 9. My favorite teams. I lost my loyalty, since you guys are well aware. I worked in sports for many years, and I have college roommates and college friends, and not really high school, but then college. Then after college, when I worked in sports, I made a lot of friends that are now on different teams or played on different teams and are retired now. So because they played on different teams, I lost my loyalty to teams. I grew up a Braves fan, but I'm not really a hard Braves fan anymore. I do watch the Braves still. I watch the Astros a lot, but I've worked for the Astros, so it was hard to root against or for or against teams. I lost the loyalty on a pro level. I just root for players individually, which is why fantasy sports works out well for me, because I'm already just rooting for individuals anyway. But in college, I have a lot of ties. So I grew up an Ohio State football fan and a Kentucky basketball fan. Where I grew up, we didn't have any major schools. I had some in my vicinity, but like my state, my region, there was no major school there. And no professional teams either. I lived in one of the states that had no professional teams. 0. major teams for any sport. So I was close to Pittsburgh, but actually grew up across the border. So I didn't really like Pittsburgh teams that much, even though I watched them growing up because that's where I was. So college, again, Ohio State was 2 hours away. Kentucky was 5 hours away. Then when I went to college, Ohio State was 3 hours away, and Kentucky for basketball only, it was less than 2 hours away, basically driving. So I still root for those teams in college sports, for basketball and football individually. Again, not the schools in general. Marshall, my alma mater, for everything. I'll root for Marshall over everybody for every sport. I support them in everything. I watch them play soccer and volleyball. I have a package for their online streaming, so I watch them play everything. I watch them in baseball. I went there to play baseball. Didn't work out. My shoulder decided not to play, so I didn't play 4 years there. But that was the goal. I like all those schools. And then the only other oddball, I mean, I'll watch any majors. I've been to Texas and Texas A&M and LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, Clemson. I've been to a lot of places. UConn, WVU, which I don't like at all, Pitt, Penn State. I've been to all those schools for games. But Stanford was kind of my dream school. I never considered living in California. I lived way across the country. But just growing up in the 90s, I loved Stanford baseball. Stanford, LSU, and Clemson were just nasty programs. So I wasn't good enough to be a national recruit. I was highly recruited in like my region. So like a 5-state, 6-state area. But, you know, I'm not at all good enough to go to Stanford, or when I was playing anyway. I'm not playing now. But that would have been my dream school, just because I really truly believe academics are extremely important and something I greatly care about. So because the academic side, I really liked Stanford through the 90s, and I rooted for them in baseball. So I do still root for them in baseball, and then some obscure sports. Just I like watching them. I like their program. I like them to win the pack, just because of that tie in there. And again, just really loving the academics and athlete side of it, because I really believe in a student athlete. Although nobody really does that, or for the most part, people don't do that. They're just athletes, and that's all they're there at school for. But I really care about the academics, so very important to me. Anyway, where are we at here? Favorite athletes. Ken Griffey Jr. The only person in baseball that was my favorite baseball player before Ken Griffey Jr. was George Brett when I was very young. Still love George Brett, but his end of his career, middle end to his end, I watched that heavily, so loved him. Then Ken Griffey Jr., now Hunter Pence. Those are my 3 favorite players in baseball ever. I watch a lot of other people. I love Nolan Ryan, love Greg Maddux, love Randy Johnson. I was a pitcher, so I watch a lot of pitchers. But those are my 3 favorite baseball players. As far as football, Eddie George was my favorite ever in basketball. Vince Carter is my favorite ever. Even though I was a Kentucky fan, he's a UNC boy. I watched a lot of UNC because my best friend growing up, who literally is closer to me than my brother, he was in my wedding and stuff like that. Smitty, he doesn't collect cards, he's not going to see this. But Smitty's a UNC fan, so we watch UNC and Kentucky games all the time together. And we both collectively always rooted against Duke. So for you Duke fans, obviously UNC and Kentucky, not really big fans of Duke, but good school. So I have some friends that went there. Academically, it's a great school. Anyway, oh yeah, in hockey, Patrick Waugh. I loved Patrick Waugh. So definitely my favorite player in hockey. What direction would you like to take your collection moving forward? I once had the idea or the plan, you know, I had this idea 25 years ago, and then after that flood wiped out my collection, I restarted collecting. It kind of shifted gears. I wanted to have the best Griffey collection in the world. And then I've met a couple people that are literally like millionaires that collect Griffey, and it's like, well, I can't compete with a guy who can literally buy every one of one if he chooses to. So I ended up wanting to have the most diverse, just beautiful collection, especially of memorabilia and autographs. Just something nobody else has. Just have the most varied cards and autographs, you know, being sometimes $60, but typically about $200 for a Griffey autograph. I just want to have a really diverse collection of that and have the nicest looking collection of Ken Griffey Jr. that is very large and diverse, but it doesn't have to be the biggest, I guess. So autograph heavy, and I like memorabilia cards still as well. That's kind of the focus moving forward, still with Griffey stuff. And I still collect the Hall of Famers a ton as well, which Griffey's not Hall of Famer, so I guess I only collect Hall of Famers, just mainly Griffey. Sorry. Question 12. if you weren't collecting cards, what would you be doing instead? Hobby-wise, photography for sure. I still have that hobby, sports photography. I like to go to events and take pictures, so that would be my thing. It is my thing a little bit, but I would actually focus on that if I didn't have card collecting. And I'd have a lot more money to buy some sweet cameras, so it actually makes sense. I also like astronomy, not astrology, completely different. I like astronomy, I like stars, I like planets, I like the solar system, I like that type of stuff. So I'd probably buy like one of those like $5,000 to $10,000 telescopes. If I wasn't buying sports cars, I'd probably save up and buy one of those. I used to really be into that. I've kind of fallen out of it, but now that I have a son and want to have more kids as well, I think it'd be cool to share that hobby and interest. And again, it's like an academic thing. I like to learn a lot, so I think that would be cool to pick that up again or increase it. If you could have any job, what would it be? Major League Baseball player for sure, but what I wanted to do once I stopped playing baseball, I was actually enrolled to go to law school, and I was working for the Houston Astros. My goal was going to be a sports agent. That was my job goal for many, many years. I was focused on it from high school on, actually. I was going to represent myself if I was a Major League Baseball player, and if I fell short of that dream, I was going to be just a great agent was the plan. So I did drop out of law school. I withdrew my law school application or enrollment, whatever, and moved across country with my wife, and that's when I ended up being in St. Louis and doing the Rawlings stuff and the Major League Baseball stuff and training some players and all that. It was a wonderful experience, but I actually dropped out of law school for my wife. So I had to choose essentially her or law school, and I believe a good woman is worth more than any career at any point. So for me, it was the right decision. It sucks that I'm not an agent, but I made that choice. So that's what I would do, is be a sports agent. Just because there's a lot of unethical ones, and I know I would destroy them. Besides having a lot of friends that are players, so I could easily get their business and then kind of build up from there. Being ethical in that industry sets you apart. So that was my goal. That's job. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? So I can go anywhere, or at least I believe that, right? So I don't have the money or the time necessarily, but I do believe if you want to go somewhere, you can go. But my problem is I literally, like right now where I'm sitting down, it's extremely painful on my back. I actually took a pain pill about 15 minutes before I did this video. So I've had the multiple back surgeries, shoulder surgery, all this stuff. So I've had a lot of surgeries, 6 now, and the back one is really bad. I haven't recovered from it. Like, my recovery is done, but that recovery level is I can't lift like I used to. I can't run like ever. I'm getting out of shape, which is really annoying for me. I like to be active, and traveling is tough. Actually, it restricts a lot of stuff I can do. I cannot sit for like hours. I can't even sit and watch a baseball game or basketball game, football game, whatever. I was at the Astros game last night on 9/11. So Cubs destroyed the Astros in Houston. I was there with one of my best friends. We walked around. 7 of the 9 innings we were walking. We weren't sitting at all. We sat for 2 innings and 2 innings only. So is what it is. So where would I go, though, if it wasn't a problem? My wife loves Australia and wants to get back there. I'd like to see Sydney. She studied abroad there, so I would go there. But my top list are Rio, which I was scheduled to go with one of my friends to the Rio Olympic Games. I did not go because of my back. I had to cancel the trip. So Rio would be up there, and I'd like to go to Barcelona. So that'd be my, I guess, top 2. All right, man. Go anywhere. What are your pet peeves? I have a bunch of pet peeves. I like, or to keep it simple, I hate when somebody says, can I ask you a question? And then ask you a question. It's like, you just asked one, just ask the damn question. Like, if you want to go somewhere, just ask me. Do you want to go there? Don't say, can I ask you a question? Do you want to go to Florida? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Don't preface your question with a question. I also don't like when somebody answers a question, repeating your question, because it usually indicates the person's lying. You ask them a question, they're like, do you mean blah, blah, blah? And they're repeating the question you just asked. That's not a good thing either. They're either not listening to you fully, or they're going to lie and they're thinking about their answer. I don't like liars. So a lot of pet peeves, though. Little things that annoy me, but that's a couple. So What regular or famous, dead or alive person would you want to be stranded on a deserted island with? I'd prefer not to be on a desert island, stranded, or a deserted island, sorry. That would be more ideal, but if I'm reading the question right, so like, you want me to name both? Like, who would I want to be stranded? Like, a regular person? My wife. I mean, if I had to spend the rest of my life stranded on an island with somebody, it'd be my wife. And a famous person, probably like Mariah Carey. I've always kind of had a thing for her. Still think she's hot, and she can sing, so I'd be entertained. And if you're going to be stuck with a famous person, it may as well be someone you can hook up with until you're dead, right? So it's not going to be a dude. So, not for me anyway. What fictional character would you be? You'd be a fictional character. So I assume you mean like from a movie or something? A fictional character? Man. That's tough. I've never thought about it. I wouldn't want to be a fictional person. Like a fictional character. Like, I don't idolize any fiction. I don't even like to read fiction. I like nonfiction. I like factual stuff. Like I said, I like biographies, documentaries, stuff like that. So, I don't know. If I think of something, I'll come back to this. But I can't think of any that I'd want to be at all. Who's your favorite superhero and why? Kind of the same thing. I don't really know about superheroes. I don't watch superhero movies unless like I get drugged to it on a date or something like that. That was before my wife and still with my wife, so if it wasn't for her, there's a lot of stuff I want to see because she loves movies. That's her hobby, is watching movies, so I'll get tons of movies and let her watch them, and I don't even watch them all with her, but every once in a while you just gotta, do what your spouse wants to do if you want to have a healthy relationship. We have a great one. So which one would I be though? Favorite superhero? Or not, what would I be? Who is my favorite? Maybe Superman, because he can fly and he helps people. I think it's good to help people. I do a lot of charity work that obviously doesn't make it on this page because it doesn't make sense to, but I believe in helping people if you can. Yeah, I guess Superman. I kind of liked Spider-Man when I was a kid, I think. I had some pajamas or underwear or something to him, so I guess. Who's your... Oh, wait. What are the 5 best character traits? Maybe I should plan this out. Honesty. Loyalty. Those are 1A, 1B. Honest and loyal. But 5, so honesty, loyalty. Genuine. Passionate. Honest again. It's number 1 and 5. Very important. I'm okay with people being assholes. Doesn't bother me or scare me or make me resent somebody. Doesn't make me sad. Doesn't make me have pity for myself. You can be mean if you're being completely honest and you're not trying to hurt somebody. If your intention isn't to hurt that person, then it doesn't bother me. So those are good traits. Show me a card or an item you've never shown before. I'll show you something that's not sports related. I'll be right back. All right, here's a part of it. It's encased, obviously, and I'm going to hang it on a wall, but I'm not to that point yet. So I'll show it another day on the wall, but let me show it to you right now. Give you a little sneak peek. Never shown this before. There we go. It's the only place I could show it. I have a Chester Bennington. He is the lead singer of Linkin Park. Autographed guitar. So it says Linkin Park there, obviously in green, which is kind of nice. So it's PSA DNA certified. It's a full-size guitar. It obviously does work, but it's not in tune. So you could use it. I don't plan to. I'm just going to hang it. That's the only reason I got it. So while I think their albums more recently, the last 8 years or so, are not as good as their first couple, that is probably my favorite band of all time, Linkin Park. I like all their stuff. It definitely went a little off from what I like. I like a little more hard rock, and they went back to it in their most recent album, which didn't sell as heavy, I believe. So it's more hard like the Meteora and Hybrid Theory But best album I've ever heard in my life was Hybrid Theory, just because it's the only one I would listen to straight through and skip 0 songs of any band. So usually there's some songs I dislike, but Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park. So you guys didn't know that. I'm a fan.